First impression, she's amazing. No, that's such an understatement, cause she's raw than cocaine is without the cooking agent. But she's taken, I'll be patient. I ain't hating, I'll be waiting till it's her minus X, like an algebra equation. Now I'm lying, no, she's worth it. I'll be working my lip service since I'm head over heels. I spin my web and hope she's
another hot jam. Welcome back,
says the man who recorded it,
to Beyond the Journal. And we have a very special guest. But before we even discuss our special guest, the co-host is here as well, as always.
Oh my gosh, really? I thought we moved past this.
This is my co-host, Erin. Say hi, Erin.
Oh my gosh. Really? Hi.
I am super excited and happy to hear your sup. Happy to hear your voice. Happy to have us all here. And we have a very special guest.
Very special. And I would introduce her, but you need to take this pleasure.
So the name of this show is called hashtag That's On My Mama. Why? Because we have none other than my mama here as a special guest. And
so
it is not only an honor to have you, but it is an honor to utilize my craft to interact with you in public. I'm so proud and happy at the same time. Hi, mama.
Hi, honey.
Oh,
there we
hi.
go.
Thank you so much. I've already thanked you like 4,000 times, but thank you so much. And for those of you who are listening, or if you watch on YouTube, you can see she is rocking the Ballers Journal t-shirt. My heart exploded with happiness when I walked in the studio. I was so excited. Yeah. So thank you not only for being here, but repping.
Got to support my team.
Oh,
there you go.
Well, we love you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
All love.
So how are you enjoying your stay so far, Ma?
Oh, there are no words.
Yeah.
I'm like super excited to be here. Really sorry to have to leave so soon, but I will definitely be back. It was such a huge pleasure to interact and just see my son at work.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Happy to have you.
Yes.
I'm cheesing all over the place right now. I don't think I smile like this on a regular basis. My face is gonna hurt at the end. Let's tackle some news.
Okay, let's do it.
And Mom, you chime in if you feel it.
Okay.
You are home right now. So
Yep, we're just having a conversation, so
Okay.
you hop in whenever you're ready.
What's first on the docket?
So first, let's talk about the new NBA resting policy. What do you think? It's interesting. I found that very interesting when it popped up because we've talked about this several times before in the past.
Yep, load management.
So I thought it was really interesting. So basically, if you're resting healthy players in any high-profile, nationally televised game, you are fined $100,000.
$100,000.
$100,000
because you want to rest your player.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
Whose decision is that?
That's the
commissioner.
Yeah, the person who runs the NBA.
What's the point?
Well,
love that you asked that.
ratings are the point. And so people are tuning in to see the superstars play. And if they're not playing, ad dollars could be affected. Mm-hmm. That's one of the reasons. It's money. Money.
Bottom line.
Yeah.
Bottom line.
At the end of the day, it's always money.
Always.
I think, but you hit it on the head. It's money. And I think that's the message here is that, yes, you are a basketball player. Yes, you have your own personal endeavors. Yes, you have your own mission. However, you signed a contract. You signed a contract, and when you signed the contract, you agreed to work under our parameters, stipulations, and our rules. And we say we got to give the customer what the customer is paying for.
Right.
Simple.
Yeah.
It's simple. It's $100,000.
Simple math.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Equals money.
Yeah. But I mean, so you know me. I always see both sides of the story, right? I always like to see both sides. So I also get it from a standpoint, like, one, we've talked about this, you're lucky to play in the NBA.
Okay.
You should be grateful to be there, right?
Right.
And that you're able to play in those high-profile games.
Mm-hmm.
So there's something to be said about that. I think if you truly are injured or if there's something else going on, I mean, people have taken advantage of it. You've seen and heard the rumors about Kawhi and, things like that. So I also think they're kind of laying the groundwork for that a little bit too. Mm-hmm. But listen, at the end of the day, we all know this, the NBA is a business.
It is.
Yeah.
So just don't get it twisted. It's a business.
And it's very difficult to say that it is a business, especially with all of the listeners we have who are either trying to achieve a dream or reach a dream or raising someone trying to reach a dream. And for some of them, the dream is the NBA. And the NBA is like, did you really dream of joining the business, or did you dream that you were just going to play basketball and be free? A lot of people don't understand that.
No.
It's
Right.
a business.
And they're married.
Yeah.
Right.
Those two are married.
Yeah, and you have to take the good with the bad, right? Like it's
Right.
not you don't get to pick and choose. I mean, and maybe unless you're LeBron James, but whatever.
Right, or me.
Anyway,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Oh,
See, here
boy.
we go,
Oh,
Mama. He's starting.
Here we go.
He's
Here we
starting.
go.
So
starting.
speaking of
Already,
contracts,
didn't take long.
not at all, not at all.
But wait, so sorry, I'm
Oh
sorry.
no,
go ahead.
no. But wait, what?
No contracts.
So speaking of contracts, Kyrie Irving,
Yeah.
right? Now you're talking about. We mentioned LeBron, right? Kyrie Irving is up there in terms of the top echelon in basketball, right?
Whatever. Yeah.
You're not feeling him lately.
I never. He's always hurt.
Oh.
Like,
Okay.
I just don't feel like his. I mean, I know kids love him, and I know people love his shoes, and I know he has been out there doing his thing. But really, at the end of the day, and yes, I'm not taking away. He's talented. Do I think he's one of the best ever? I personally do not. That's just my opinion. However, I think.
Wow.
I don't.
Shout it right out when you know it.
Hey,
Jeez.
you know, I don't hold back. I don't hold
Okay.
back. But come on, best ever.
No, I mean, but he's, he might be in the conversation if he gives us a couple of good years coming up.
A GOAT conversation?
I mean, he has a chip in his bag, doesn't he? He's won a championship
How
already.
many? There's been plenty of great guys who haven't won chips.
Nonetheless, right? But that puts him above a certain amount of players, right? And now if he gives us a couple of good years, injury-free,
If
we might put him in the conversation.
If
Ouch.
if
Okay,
and,
so-
okay,
I don't
anyway.
think she likes that person.
No, you know what? It's fine. I'm sure he's great. And there are, I think, off the court, me and him, on a spiritual level, I think we could connect. But
Oh.
he's very into.
No, I had you read wrong. I thought you didn't like what he was doing off the court because he refuses to speak to the media and he's very opinionated.
Well-
and I thought you liked him on the court.
No.
Oh, the other way around.
Yeah.
Wow,
Oh, okay,
really?
okay.
Yeah.
You don't like the way Kyrie Irving plays ball.
He does too much for me.
Whoa.
But anyway,
Okay.
so what I'm saying, what I don't like about what he did with the whole media thing. This
Okay.
is what I don't like. I don't like this. I do not talk to pawns.
Oh.
That I didn't like that. And I understand. I don't think it's fair to take an entire group of people and put them in that box just because I work for the media. Now I'm a pawn in your game. I understand what he's saying. I get what the media does. They twist, they turn, they create drama. They do a lot of things
Yeah,
that are not
they
cool.
do.
They get too involved in their personal lives. They ask questions that
ruin
trigger them.
lives sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. They ask questions that trigger. I get it. But I don't know if it's fair to stereotype the entire group of media.
Well, that's never fair.
Yeah, and so but I understand his frustration because he's taken a beating from
Oh,
the
yeah.
media. So I get it, and I understand maybe what I could say here is in some ways I respect that he has the balls to kind of step up and be like, you know what? So what? I got the money. Find me.
And then you
In
think
some ways,
that'll-
maybe it could create some change.
that could push a shift,
Maybe.
right? Okay.
I don't know.
Expensive shift.
Yeah, well,
Yes.
he's
has
due to
it.
he's due to be fined. What is that? 25,000?
20, which is nothing to him.
I mean, it's
But in my opinion, money's money. I mean, a
Well-
dollar matters to me, but
But like you said, it's nothing to him.
yeah.
Right.
And then you got to put yourself in the position where you choose between the money and the mission. Right?
But is he
Yeah.
trying to set a precedence?
I think he's moving in that direction.
Yeah.
From what I understand, just in observing, I don't have a close relationship with him. But what
No?
I'm
you
sorry.
don't have him on speed dial? No? Oh,
So
I thought-
what a lot of
my
people
bad.
don't know, including Erin, is through some family, I'm actually somewhat connected to his family. I just don't go out of my way.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm sure.
right.
Okay.
All
Yeah. Oh, really? You're so connected. So he should be in that seat right there.
Shout out-
We should ask him ourselves.
Shout out to the fam.
Yeah, the fam. Yeah, the fam.
Which is a broad scope.
Exactly.
No,
My
but
cousins, brothers, aunts,
Yeah,
sisters, wives.
Once removed.
Exactly. Yeah, sure. Yeah, we heard all about that.
I just want to have a happy show here, okay?
Yeah.
Oh, I think we're happy.
We're happy over here. We're happy. We're doing our thing.
But I think there comes, there's that the idea of the tipping point, right? And there's how far can you go until you meet the conflict that makes you make a decision that changes everything for you. And I think he's nearing that tipping point.
I agree.
And I don't want to see him go out like Colin Kaepernick and sacrifice the
I was
entire
thinking about
career
that.
Yeah.
unless, of course, he can produce something that makes it seem like, you know what, this sacrifice was worth it. Not because his sacrifice wouldn't be worth it, but because we need more people to be able to make sacrifices and be brave. And what better way than to show them that there's something else on the other side of this? I don't think Colin Kaepernick actually did that. I don't think he made it so that we want to do that.
I think Colin Kaepernick was ahead of his time. I don't think we were ready for that.
Yeah.
I think we're much more prepared for that now as a society than when Cap did that. But I will say this in regards to Kyrie, I think his impact off the court is going to be far more powerful than on the court, in my opinion.
Got it.
I think he's just getting started, and I do think his heart and mind are in the right place, and I do think he's a spiritual person. And I'm actually anxious to see where he goes with this and what he does. I just hope that he does it in a way, you know me, I'm all about like the love.
Yeah.
So I hope that he does it in kind of a loving kindness way where he's able to push it forward and people are more, just like you were saying earlier before we started the show, when you meet someone, when you kill them with kindness and you meet them with kindness, sometimes they're more willing to open their minds to it, right? Instead of having it shoved down their throat or met with, hostility.
Right.
So I don't know.
Because then you have so much negativity.
Right.
And
that's just not going to get us anywhere.
Yeah.
Right.
So I don't know. So let's see. Go Kyrie. I'm rooting for you. Maybe not as much on the court, but
clearly.
whatever. But I'm going to root for I'm going to root for the Nets though, because whatever. Jacques Vaughn's over there. So
Brooklyn.
And but the interesting thing about the NBA, let me say, is that although they want to fine you for resting, they're not going to test for marijuana anymore.
For resting, but they're not going to test for marijuana.
So you can just toke up in the locker room, hop out on the court, and we're going to go.
They had that in mind.
Yeah,
I don't know, but do they know J.R. Smith? Because
J.R. Smith. Oh,
because if it's J.R. killed me during the finals. That man was the first one to touch the trophy.
Yes, he was.
Didn't play in the game, but he was hype. He was out there.
He's a fun-loving kid, though, man.
No, I like J.R.
I've watched him since the McDonald's All-American game in high school. I've always liked that kid. He's just been a wild card. But, maybe this new stipulation that they won't be testing, maybe he'll calm down a little.
Doubt it. I think he's high all the time
I think
anyway.
it's turn-up time.
Exactly.
But I
think he's high all the time anyway.
Do you think it's interesting that they're actually not going to test for the marijuana now?
I think it's super cool.
Okay, Mom. All right. Thank you.
You do? I love that.
Heard it here first.
You know what? Let me say just quickly, there are like a lot of benefits.
Well, that's what I was gonna say.
Okay, yeah. Talk to me about
Medicinal.
Yes.
Relaxation.
Absolutely.
Right? You just float along, right?
Recovery. Yeah. This is good. I like it. And there's a lot of athletes who use it. I've been reading some articles about people who run marathons or triathlons. They actually train, they smoke, they have edibles, they train while high sometimes too.
What?
Yeah, because you can
relax.
You can actually they were saying that you can kind of like escape from your body and tap into a mental state where you can just go.
Well, that's true. You can definitely separate mind from body if you either have the right ingredients or if you have the right training.
But then
both.
But give
Or
me
both.
both.
Yeah.
Exactly. Then now we're talking superstar level.
Yeah, we're gonna
move on from this.
Yeah. I don't know how to be here right now, Mom. So there was a video, and Mom, you and I watched it, where the coach. You remember the little kids in the football jerseys, the yellow jerseys, and the coach was clearly upset. He not only put his hands on the child, he hit him so hard the child hit the floor several times.
See, problem.
Okay.
Problem. Don't put
about
your
it.
hands on my child.
Yeah.
Amen.
You teach, I preach.
Yes, ma'am.
But I never gave you the right to put your hands on my child.
Right.
And where's the separation between child and adult? I thought we were there to teach.
Yes,
right?
ma'am.
So what type of an example are you setting? And then from the video we watched, he didn't hit him once.
Nope.
He went for him like he was a grown man. What's wrong with that guy? Who is that guy?
Okay.
And why is he coaching children? And you know what I heard? I heard that he is like a sheriff or had some law.
That's probably what he thinks. Dude, this is not a criminal. We're coaching
He's
kids
a
here.
7-year-old little boy. I don't care what he did. I don't care if he got the ball and scored on the wrong
I
end
could care
zone.
less.
It does not matter. I don't care what he said. I don't care what he did. I don't
No,
care
ma'am.
anything.
No,
You
ma'am.
do not touch a child.
Can you imagine if that were Connor or Liam?
No,
our youngest.
When I watched that, I said I would be leaving that field in handcuffs.
yeah.
I would not. It's not happening.
Let's just say no one would ever ask me again, am I soft-spoken?
Word. That's true.
Okay?
That is true. I've actually. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
You do not mess, and this is incorrect English, with me in mind.
Right. Yes, ma'am.
You don't do that.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay? That's my creation.
Yes,
right?
ma'am.
Like, and I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm in the room,
Yeah.
and you think that you can fix something that's not broken?
Could you imagine if, like, I put myself there and I was like, if I was sitting in the stands
don't
and I
know.
saw
I
him
don't
touch
know.
my son like that, literally, I would be probably leaving in handcuffs. There is no way you.
I got a worse situation for you. Can you imagine if you were on your phone and you were scrolling
I know,
it and
I
you
saw you
saw
write
that?
No.
And you saw that on your phone and you recognized that that was your child?
These days, though, that you most likely would have gotten video texted to you, something.
Listen.
But still, if you weren't there and you saw that secondhand,
Listen, and from a coach's perspective, I've gotten in players' faces. I've thrown the ball threateningly at my players when they weren't paying attention. I'll throw the ball at the wall next to them to scare them. But I'm not gonna abuse the child, because what that then does now
To what end?
is it does two things, right? It trains the child to be afraid to make a mistake, and it also trains the child to communicate through violence. Yeah.
here's the other thing that I thought about. I went to instantly after I got through my anger. I instantly jumped to emotional. And not only emotionally what that child went through and will have to process after the fact, the other children watching as well. So
That's like spreading
everybody
poison.
there, exactly. And
You're
so
spreading poison.
every single child there, not only did they now witness it, they saw their friend go through that, they witnessed it, they felt fear, they felt scared, they felt sad, they felt worried about their friend. There's a million emotions. They're 7 and they don't know how to communicate all of that the way adults would, or maybe not, and some adults can't even do that.
That's right.
So
That's right.
you know what I'm saying? So I instantly, once I could, like, okay, control yourself, take a deep breath. What's next? My first concern was the kids. I'm like, I need to not focus on the man. I need to go get those children and move them away from that man, and then we need to deal with it.
For
It's
me,
hard,
it would have
Matt.
been fade to black.
Yeah.
We're straight.
No,
I'm
I get
telling
it.
you.
No, seriously, it's
get it.
hard. Speaking of tempers flaring and grown men not doing what they're supposed to do on the football field, there was the other story in South Texas. High school football player was ejected from the game.
Yeah.
And before he could leave the field, he charged onto the field and blindsided a referee and is now facing assault charges.
Yep.
Right? But here's the thing, okay? And I hate to say this, and I had to explain this to my 11-year-olds, that, dude, if you get that angry and you do something, you're going to jail. Like, that is a criminal
That's
charge.
assault. Yeah.
And a lot of kids couldn't understand because, you know, when you grow up and you're a kid, the worst you're going to get is suspended from school or a technical foul on the court. But they don't understand. That's actual
That was
assault.
intent.
Yes.
That was that's the problem. That was
Yes.
intent. You
Yeah.
know, he was thrown off, right, or thrown out,
Yes,
proper
ma'am.
term, and he thought about that. So it's almost premeditated.
Yep.
It's like no matter what, I'm gonna get mine.
Yeah, and he looked that way as well.
Yeah. So and you could see the way he charged ahead. So
Yeah. But now the question is, yeah, go ahead. You want to?
No, I was going to say, unfortunately, though, I don't know if I'm jumping
No,
in front
go
of
ahead.
you, but unfortunately now the entire team
Yes.
is being
Yeah.
punished for his actions. So we did a poll on the Beyond the Journal Instagram story, and 44% agreed that the team should be punished, and 56% did not think the team should be punished. So how do you feel, Mama? How do you feel about that?
well, it's like anything else. It's always two sides. But see, here's the thing. First thing is team. There's no I in team. So if you say we're a team and we're supporting each other, you have to take the good with the bad. And I think that I would be with the 44% because if you just extract him, what's really going to happen to him, whether he gets criminal charges pressed or not, what's really going to happen to him? That team needs to feel the impact of that type of behavior. So if you just take him out and let the whole team go and play, Everything's okay. They will quickly forget what happened. So I am for having the entire team sit down.
Wow,
You voted no. Didn't you?
I did, and now that I hear it, I'm thinking it's true, right? Because what you do now is, let's say you subtract this young man from the team, and then the rest of the players are thinking, or this could be their perspective.
It wasn't
well,
me.
As long as it wasn't me, I don't have anything to worry about. But that also says, when I'm ready to risk it all I'm risking is myself.
See?
But if you risk the entire team, that may add weight.
You're
I didn't think of it
responsible.
that way.
You're responsible.
But then what do you tell the parent who has been bringing his child or her child to practice every day? The child has been doing everything she or he is supposed to do, and then all of a sudden it's over.
You tell the parent that your child does not exist in a world all of his own. You put him on this team to be a part of a team, so he has to accept whatever comes with being on the team.
And you also chime in and say, life isn't fair. Get used to it.
Oh, okay. All right.
Bad things happen to good people. Shall we keep going on with the cliches?
Exactly. Because we can. I have a feeling we can.
Yes, ma'am.
You want us to roll with this?
No, ma'am.
'Cause
Yeah.
I feel it.
No, ma'am. So you captured a quote from one of our
Luke.
faithful listeners.
Yeah, Luke.
Shout out to Luke.
Luke,
That's my
I love
guy.
you. You crack me up all day long with your DMs,
All
and he's great. But he actually played football,
Yes.
so he felt very strongly about this, and he thought it was disgusting. Do you want to actually
Yeah,
read the
sure.
quote? Go ahead,
I can read it. It says, this is disgusting, but this is what's going to happen, unfortunately. He'll get this charge expunged when he turns 18, go to a SHIT, I don't know why I'm spelling it, JUCO for a year and get picked up by a bigger college/university. This brings about a bigger issue with NCAA and their tolerance of this behavior, which bleeds into the professional realm. Don't get me started. The kids don't learn to become men because they're placated by grown men in positions of authority. Excuse me.
And this kind of goes back to the whole thing we just talked about with the NBA too. It's a business, and I know it's college, and we like to think that it's not, but the NCAA is also a business.
Oh, that's a big money
it's-
business.
it- it
I learned
bleeds-
that from my husband. That's a big money business.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
it bleeds into cancel culture again, right? When
Right.
you cancel this kid will fly under the radar,
Mm-hmm.
wind up on another team where he's expected to fly under the radar, and then nothing's really changed except his
Exactly.
trajectory slightly, right? But he's still on the same road.
But see, the team that was sat down in its entirety,
Yeah.
you're giving them something to think about.
Mm-hmm.
Like, your reactions bring about actions.
You're right.
And there are consequences for
Yeah.
actions. And you know what? If you're lucky enough to learn it secondhand and have it sink in and actually
Yeah, and
impact,
utilize it, yeah.
yes, impact your decisions moving forward, amen.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
I'm glad. So yeah, it sucked that you had to sit, but like, look at what you learned. Let's hope that you can carry that with you,
Yeah.
right? So you're not that guy who's getting the assault charge moving forward. But listen, we talk about this all the time. Sports and life mirror each other so much, and there's so many lessons. Life is just not fair. You're going to be punished. Bad things are going to happen. It's how we recover. It's how we rise back up. It's how we learn and how we move forward, right? So whether it's on the football field, the basketball court, or in the game of life, these are all lessons. So it's all about the growth and the learning, and it's how open are you
That's right.
to being able to do that.
Agreed. Agreed.
So, okay, good. We're all on the same page. I think that high five. I don't know if that's ever happened
I
here
don't
before.
think that's
All right
ever
now.
happened.
All right. Woo! I'm feeling good about this.
All right.
Mama needs to come on. She needs to be on the show more often.
I agree.
And I feel like I have some backup. Like I feel a little
I
more
got you. I
comfortable
got you.
here.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I got you.
All right.
Yeah.
Moving
Okay.
right along.
right.
What's next on the docket?
Okay. Oh, I just have to throw this in there, the college basketball, because we always got to talk about this. So actually, I know you're already rolling your eyes. Really, you're looking away. You can't even
Because-
handle it.
Go
So
ahead.
I just got to shout this out. So, and I'm not even going to hate on it because I have to say this college basketball season is weird.
It is. No,
It's
it is.
really
It is
weird.
weird.
It's sad.
It's
too.
weird. It's sad.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah.
Players who you thought would be like amazing aren't. Some who you didn't expect are. Teams are losing left
It's
and
the
right.
indecisiveness because of the virus. thing,
Right. And
so.
like some teams practice, some didn't, some don't want to play, some do. It's crazy. But anyway, Duke loses 2 home games. 2. And after the second loss, Coach K says, I know people are going to think I'm making excuses, but I don't think we should be playing. which I laughed hysterically at.
Because
okay,
you're
Kay.
one of the people.
Okay, Kay. All right, whatever, Kay. But Bill Self actually responded to him directly and
said
said
what?
he actually said, I actually have the quote. Would you like me to read it?
I don't
and
know.
no,
You asked.
Yeah, thank you. Woo!
Oh,
You
boy.
asked.
I love this. I love this.
I'm
no.
outnumbered
this
right
is,
now.
This is amazing. So basically what he said is, he said the precautions that we do and the protocols that we have would be in many ways far safer than if we aren't playing and if we just turned the guys loose. Self says he agrees with some of Kay's thoughts, but is overall okay with Kansas playing basketball. So
Listen, I don't think that's what Kay meant. I don't think Kay meant that we shouldn't be playing just because it's unsafe. It's we shouldn't be playing because it's so unsafe that the stipulations and the parameters we must apply have created stringencies that are limiting players who used to be a lot more free. And now they're more preoccupied with things about security or safety rather than focusing in on the game. And I agree. However, I will say that I just finished having the same conversation with London, my son, that it is not your job to assess the situation for it being pleasing or not. It's your job to assess the situation and then move forward through the situation at all points, at all times in life, and especially on the court.
Yeah.
Right. And so that was kind of my point. I see what Kay's saying. I'm not hating on him.
Yeah.
I get it. And it is a really unprecedented time, and it's worrisome. I'm
Right.
not out there coaching on the sideline with a mask and having my kids run around. So I'm sure, you have concerns about that. But I will say, I just said this the other day. Someone was talking to me about the restaurants in the city and how they're all going to shut down.
They're getting ready to close again, yeah.
Right, and how they're building all these outdoor things and everyone's really trying. And I said, and they were kind of criticizing it. And I said, hold on a second. I said, wait, before we just start hating on that, I give them a lot of credit for trying, for rolling with it, for just being resilient and just trying to come up with a solution.
We're talking about people's livelihoods, so we have to do something.
Yeah, and so we can't just sit back and take it. So we have to, and we don't know how long this will be, how long this is going to take. So instead of just sitting back and going, oh, well.
Just waiting.
I feel like, listen, we got to try. We got to try something. We got to do our best, and maybe we'll fail, but then we'll learn some more lessons, and then we can try again. So I get what Kay's saying. I understand. I think, he was a little heartbroken from the losses, so it may have affected his mental capacity.
And there it goes again, right?
Come right back.
But
there it goes again.
But honestly, no, we all know, even Q, when he was on the show, everyone shows mad respect to Kay. So I'm not hating on Kay. He's a great coach. So anyway, but I just want to shout out that Duke has 2 losses at home. Anyway.
It's okay.
Okay.
Cool.
Cool.
Guys like Kay and I, we lose. And we don't
Like you.
We don't stop winning though. You get that? We lose, but we don't stop winning.
Oh dear.
Shout out to Coach K.
All righty
Yeah,
then.
is he part of the fam? He's part of the fam.
It's part of the fam.
Another family member.
Oh,
Part
yeah.
of the fam.
Oh, man. Woo! I can't wait for a family reunion. Am I
You know what
invited?
I mean, it's exclusive over here.
I bet.
You were supposed to jump in and say family members only.
Family members only. Facts.
Oh,
yes, ma'am.
I'm clearly.
All right. So Kansas is showing up in Golden State?
Yeah, so I just threw this in there because I thought it was super interesting because Aaron Miles, who played for Kansas, is actually on the coaching staff.
That's cool.
Of player development out at Golden State. And now we have Wiggins and Oubre, who played together at Kansas. And Kerr thinks that they're going to be a really dynamic duo. They have crazy wingspan. They can play D. He knows their strengths and weaknesses. They've been working really hard together. In this off season, I guess, weeks or whatever it is. But anyway, so I read a whole article about it. I thought it was super interesting and just of, me and shouting out Kansas. So I personally am not a Golden State fan at all. So, but now I'm a little interested to see how they're going to play together.
Let's see what happens. And Steph Curry with the braids. Steph Curry.
And shout out to Steph Curry, his own shoe brand. Just announced to rival Jordan, his very own.
What's it called?
So it's Under Armour. So just like Nike has Jordan.
Yeah.
So Under Armour started the Curry brand.
Oh, okay.
So it will. So I mean, we are talking.
That's pretty good.
Next
That's
level.
Pretty good for him.
So shout out to Steph. He is working.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Really quick, before we move on, and
Yeah.
I know we don't have a lot of time,
Yeah.
but is it Oubre or Aubrey or Oubre?
Oubre. I don't know. We always say Oubre at Kansas.
I want to call him Oubre.
You would.
It's like if you
would.
look at the spelling
You
phonetically, what is the
I don't think phonetics enters in here. Oh my goodness.
Uh,
Always the teacher. Always the teacher.
All right,
Oh,
so
my goodness.
I don't know.
a
Okay.
slight shift from foolishness, but not too far of a shift from foolishness. We're gonna get into
Yeah,
whose kid is
you're
this? Yeah. Oh yeah. So in the whose kid is this section,
Yeah.
we discuss
geez.
people who have not necessarily shocked us with their stupidity, but they certainly have caught our attention. And I would like to say, whose kid is this goes to a person who frequents the whose kid is this section.
I was gonna say, how is
Donald J. Trump.
Oh dear.
Could you-
oh my.
Could you go? Could you go? The DJ played the last song a
Oh, my
long time
goodness.
ago.
Oh,
Could
my
you go?
goodness.
You're still trying to settle the bill. Could you
yeah,
go?
but the funny part is, I read that that's the only thing he does. He does not work at all anymore. Like he does not attend meetings. He does not take conference calls. He will do nothing but worry about the winning. And other
Supreme
than
Court.
that, he's
Supreme
like,
Court.
I'm on the
Yeah.
golf course.
That's it.
Meet me on the golf course.
Oh my.
That's
But
it.
the Supreme
God.
Court finally shut him down.
They did.
And
I saw it on.
I will say this though, and you remember I did say we were in for the long haul with him, right?
Mm-hmm.
I will say this. I think we are all crazy to take any vaccines while he's still around.
Mm-hmm.
Period. Now, I don't know Biden that well. He's not part of the fam. We hope
Oh, really?
we hope to welcome him in.
Wow, that's shocking. But let me guess, Obama is, right?
Oh yeah,
Obama-
definitely.
Obama's
yeah.
part. He's part of
Oh,
Obama.
yeah.
But no, in all seriousness, I just don't trust. I don't trust the former administration with Trump, and I don't know the new administration. And of course,
He's
we're all
bringing them
happy.
in slowly.
Yeah, and we're happy to take a breath of fresh air, right? But we still have to be mindful of what's going on. We still have to be aware. We still have to approach this with such scrutiny because our lives literally depend on this, right? And
Seriously,
so
yes.
and for them to be rushing with this vaccine, and I'm not one to miss the gravity of this because I unfortunately just lost a couple of people in my life due to COVID. I still do not think that we are ready to apply a vaccine to the general population. And I also have questions about who will be receiving the vaccine first. And typically in our American history, it is those who cannot fend for themselves politically or who have little to no representation in the government who are typically faced with the forced or experimental tests. So I'm worried about that as well. I'm not saying no to vaccines completely forever.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying right now we have to be very leery. We don't know what's what, and for this government to go
Too
from
much too soon.
yes, ma'am,
Too much too soon.
and this government went from February not knowing anything to now December they know everything. I don't think that's how education
No.
works. I don't.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. The only thing I will say is I don't think Trump had anything to do with it. I don't think they involved him at all. But
His
what do I know?
administration,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and his backers, and the people that placed him in that seat.
and that's the thing.
Because we all know
Yeah.
he's a puppet.
Yeah.
Somebody's pulling his strings because just him trying to be verbal day to day is an obvious struggle.
Oh, Jesus.
Well, yeah. But I mean, isn't really at the end of the day, isn't that all politicians like remember No?
No,
Is it like you don't think they're all puppets?
He's extra special.
Yeah. Oh well, I agree with you there. Yeah, I'll
He's
agree with
extra
that.
special.
But in terms of like Biden, remember when we had that episode and I was all excited and you weren't, and I was like, but don't get it twisted. Like I don't trust anybody. Like
Yeah.
I don't trust politicians.
No,
Period.
no.
And this is just the beginning. We can't the fight has to continue, and we have to keep pushing, and we have to keep. We don't stop because we're like,
No.
oh, it's Biden.
No,
Like,
we-
no,
no,
it doesn't
we-
matter. So we have to stay alert and awake and aware, and we have to keep, educating ourselves and pushing everything forward.
It's like anything. When you're successful, you go to sleep happy that you were successful. You wake up looking for more success, right? You go right back to it. So we get to the cool part of the show where we get to pick your brain, right?
Whose brain?
yours, Mama. But
Watch out there now.
a brief disclaimer. My mother and I are actually missing another musketeer, my sister
baby.
Jackie. Right? I love you. We love you. We
Yes,
miss
we
you
do.
so terribly.
Yes, we do.
And we will not be asking my mother any questions about my sister directly because my sister's not here, and that's just not how we do things in our family. So, Jackie, we love you mucho, and we'll talk to you soon. And
And Jackie needs to come on the show.
you would. That would be powerful. You talk about spiritual,
Yeah,
powerful.
Whoa. We need to do that.
Yes.
Yeah, I would love to connect with her. Hi, Jackie.
Yes,
Hi,
indeed.
Jackie.
Oh, and my mother and I may not always agree on certain things, so just be prepared, America, in case sparks fly. No, I'm just playing.
No
I'm
sparks.
I'm not trying to get smacked
it's all
anyway.
Love. It's all
Yeah,
love.
I'm not trying to
It's
get
all
smacked anyway, Ma. You know.
I got you.
I'll wait till you leave to talk behind your back. All right.
and she'll wait till the camera's off to do that. She's not stupid.
All right. So, you ready, Mom?
I am.
All right. So, what differences do you see in parenting today versus when you were parenting or when you were a child? Do you see any like differences in discipline, racial inequality?
The major difference is the internet. The parents today have allowed the children to be babysat by the internet.
Yeah.
Everybody has a handheld gadget, including the parents, and everybody is independently engaged in that handheld gadget. So when you ask me what's missing, communication, conversation, and love.
Do you worry about this generation?
I worry about this generation in a profane manner.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. So then, if you're saying we're missing communication and love, what other things are so important for raising a child?
Discipline. That's number one. That negates everything else. Discipline. I don't believe in the 1-800 number help child. I believe that once we allow children to have speakers' rights, we took the discipline out of the homes.
What do you mean by speakers' rights?
You call 1-800, they'll come and lock the parent up, no questions asked. Children have a helpline.
Yeah.
All seriousness, children have a helpline.
And they know it.
Yes, and they use it.
I don't know how they know it, but they know it.
Yeah.
They know it. And they're like, they'll say it right to your face. And you're like, excuse me?
Yes, ma'am. And see, there's to me, there's that fine line. Discipline and abuse. Come on.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to say anything. Everybody has a cell phone, taking a picture of somebody snatching their kid up. Maybe that kid was acting out in the grocery store and he needed to be snatched up. But it's all done with love.
Right.
It's no rules anymore. And when you don't have rules, what do you have?
Chaos. Yes, ma'am.
And what are the children a perfect example of today?
You're right.
Okay.
You're right. Okay. So then what are the important parts of, I guess you said raising a child, but what about keeping a home then, especially with a child in a home?
I'm not sure of that question. Keeping a home in what fashion?
How do you set up an atmosphere for your child to be successful at home?
You have a structured environment. You let them know that the internet, and I say internet because it encompasses everything, right? You let them know that they have to learn moral respect, right?
Right.
They have to be educated.
Yes, ma'am.
Google is not everything. You have to put forth the effort to learn. And, electronics should be secondary. But as I said before, the parents, unfortunately, they use electronics
You're right.
to babysit their children, to fill in the empty gaps.
Do you feel like it's important for a kid to dream? Or do you feel like it's more important for that kid to just be disciplined and doing what you tell that kid to do?
Why can't we have both? Why can't we aspire? Why can't we have dreams and then aspire?
You're right.
Right? And then within there, you're disciplined.
Right.
Give your dreams some direction. That's where the discipline comes.
I agree. I agree. I think it's difficult, in this day and age, to make a competitive child who still has the spirit to live through the downfalls and the disappointments. Right? We try to keep that child so focused that that child does not feel the fall.
I don't think you should try to keep the child from feeling the fall, because then how do they get back up again?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So if you're talking about dreaming and encouraging dreaming, how did you dream as a child? How do you continue to dream?
Because there was no internet,
Yes.
I dreamed by reading books.
You used your imagination.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, I had a plan even when I was like 8 or 9 years old. And that plan came from my dreams. And I sort of knew where I wanted to be. But that's because I had a dream. You see what I'm saying? But I still got discipline from my parents.
Right.
So then I learned to discipline myself
Right.
to follow my dream.
I think you're right. I think you really nailed it when you said the internet, because I really do feel it has robbed.
I didn't have the internet when I was a kid.
Either did I.
So.
And I remember I see my kids now and they're like, we're so bored. And I was like, I was bored all the time, but we made up games. I said, do you know how many hours I spent in my bedroom, like looking at magazines, reading books, listening to music? I would read every lyric to every song that I liked. Like, I mean, I decorated my walls with paper that I cut out. Like,
They don't know
I did
about
art
paper
party.
dolls.
No,
they don't know about playing hopscotch.
there's a
They
million
don't know about
things.
jumping rope. They don't know about.
Here's the thing. I'm not going to get this quote right. I wish I would have written it down, but I heard something recently, and it really like shook me. It said that your imagination or your dream is, and whoever you believe in, God or whatever spirit or whatever you believe in, placed that in your head because that's who you truly are meant to be. So you see that dream and you use your imagination, and that's really who you are.
That's right.
And until you really tap into that and really believe that, you're going to stay stuck. But
That's right.
And someone said, so imagine the day that you die, and if you sit down at the table with God and he puts a piece of paper in front of you and he said, do you remember this dream? Do you remember all of these things you wanted to do and be?
Right.
What happened? And that like shook me. I was like, oh my gosh. So if we're replacing the dreams and the imagination of our children with these devices, and their dream is now becoming like, oh, I want to be
The
this.
devices create their dreams.
Right. And that's
Well,
that.
I don't know that the devices create their dreams, right?
Right, but
I feel
they're
like-
influencing their
they
dreams.
definitely they shift and shape, but the dreams are never really even created because I feel like even looking at my kids and just thinking about what we did when we were younger, we created, right? And now when they pick up these gadgets, they're picking up other people's creations and then they're
Exactly.
clicking apps that are other people's
Exactly.
creations.
That's what I mean. They think it's theirs.
Gotcha.
They adopt it. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
They become those games that they play.
Right.
So actually, it is their dream. They don't have time to form
their own.
dream.
Exactly. And
was crazy.
so that's what I've started to notice too. And the kids that I talk to that I start asking questions, they're like, oh, well, I play a lot of video games and I want to be a professional video game player. And
That's
I'm like,
right. And that is actually a profession.
yeah,
It is
no,
now.
it is now. But
It's tricky though.
but it's like also saying like I want to be in the NBA. Like, I mean, okay, whatever. But it's those little moments that I have really started to think about, like me sitting in my bedroom and I dreamed of I remember in Kansas in high school even, I was just starting to we had beepers and then we just started to get cell
Pagers,
phone.
yeah.
At the end, so
Pagers.
we
Yeah, I
really
know.
didn't have, there's some stories there.
Yeah, we've got some stories with my pager.
Did you not answer when you were called, when you were
I
paged?
was, what was I, 14, and I had a flight the next day to catch early in the morning. And my mother paged me at 11:30, 12, 12:30, 1, 2, and then around 3 a.m. She was headed downstairs in a trench coat and with a belt. And yeah, so that was a bad night. Yeah. But,
Wow.
But we'll get there. We'll get there. We'll get there.
No, but it's just so interesting to me that, so for example, I remember, I wanted to go to the Fashion Institute of Technology so bad. It was just like, it's all I could think about. So I would sit with Vogue and Elle and every magazine out there. I would go to the store and buy every single one, and I would sit there and cut them out, and I would make mood boards, and of New York City, and I loved Derek Jeter at the time, and I was into sports, and so I had all of this covering my walls, and I was like, I am going to New York. There's nothing stopping me. It became who I was.
Yeah.
And 18, and here I was.
But see, all you need is a mouse and the internet, and you can be there now.
Right.
Yeah.
So
So
then what?
sad.
Right.
And you
know?
don't actually go.
And let's talk about the
stinks.
most important aspect of today's children that is missing: social graces.
Thank you. Yes.
Do you ever try to have a conversation with a child? They never make eye contact. They don't answer you because here's where we are today.
Looking
You
down.
ready for dinner? Yes.
Looking down.
Did you brush your teeth? No. Come, I'm going to the store. What do you want? Whatever you buy, Ma.
Yeah.
This is where we are.
And those phones. Mom, let me ask you something. You were one of 16.
I'm number 12.
Number 2. That's still crazy. What was it? What was it like in New York? No, not even New York City at the time. What was it like in that apartment? One of 16?
You have to keep in mind, though, that I was one of the younger ones, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
So it was pretty cool for me. I always felt protected. I was well fed. I was provided for. My parents always had their hands full. My dad always worked. My mom was always busy. So I know that I was loved, but I was never shown an outward display of affection because really, who had time? So I'm a hugger.
Yes, ma'am.
I love affection. My husband knows that. He gives me my big bear hugs, you know. I love him to pieces. But that's what it was like. I felt safe.
Yes, ma'am.
How did we live? We were in a specially made apartment in the project. When they realized that my dad had all of these children, he always told us the story that the landlord that we had on Lenox Avenue actually took him to court to get him out of the apartment because it was so many of us.
Wow.
And then when we went to housing, New York City housing, shout out, we got the project apartment where it was actually 8 bedrooms and 2.5 bathrooms.
Yeah.
It was specially done for my dad.
Wow.
So we thought we had a mansion.
Of
then.
course.
Just think.
bet.
And my dad stayed in that apartment for 50 years.
Wow.
Shout out to my grandfather.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
That's good stuff.
amazing.
God bless
So,
him.
so then what was it like raising, coming from that, right? Because there wasn't a lot of money in the family. What was it like raising a child into privilege or through privilege?
You want the honest answer?
Always.
I put myself under a lot of financial stress because I thought it was so necessary to give my child the things that I didn't have when I realized, hindsight, that I did have it. All I needed to do was love him and push him forward, but I didn't want him to be as uncomfortable as I was because I was teased, because I never had the latest fashion, and all of the things that are important to a child when they don't realize what their parents go through to provide for them.
Right.
So I put myself under a lot of financial strain in order to do that.
If you're one of 16, you didn't want to have a lot of children?
Definitely not.
That's okay. So that influenced you in that way.
Big time.
Yeah.
Yes.
But you love having a big family. You just didn't want personally to have that
Correct.
many. Right. Because of
Correct.
the struggles and all, I'm assuming some of
My
that.
poor mom, if she was still here, I owe her so many apologies. There's so many things I want to share with her.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get that.
Was I always rebellious?
you did not, do you want me to be candid?
I always want you to be candid.
Okay. You did not become rebellious until I separated from your dad. And it was a struggle from then until
Like
you were in
yesterday?
No, absolutely not. Until you were in like your second year of college and you started to realize a lot of things for yourself.
Yes, ma'am. Were there?
Was he always annoying?
Always.
Does he always have a smart mouth?
If you want to know what he was like in elementary school, look at his son Liam.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Mirror image.
Liam is now in his he has an answer for everything stage. And she's like, wow, that is you in elementary school. You had an answer
That's
for
still
everything.
you. That's still you.
You know,
You got an answer for everything.
I'm youthful at heart.
Oh, can we
You
can
like
we
that?
can we move
All right.
on?
So were there some tough decisions you made in raising me that were really tough for you back then, but you're happy you made them?
Absolutely. Boarding school.
Sending me to California?
I didn't send you. We had a discussion together in front of the head of the Boys Club of New York.
Can
and
I
said,
relay the discussion?
No.
Yeah.
And I said, Larry, are you sure you want to do this? And you said, yes, Mom, I'm going to give it a try. And you fought me tooth and nail. And when you got out there, you turned the campus upside down and you were playing rap music to all of these privileged individuals, and they
Rich
were,
white kids.
well,
Yeah.
I didn't say it.
I'm going to say
I
it for you.
didn't say it.
I'm going to say it for you.
And I had to have a few meetings with the headmaster because even though my child was not white and he was not privileged, you were not going to make him feel that.
Right.
So
And excuse me, you're welcome for bringing some New York City culture your
Yeah,
way. Wake
yeah,
up. Thank
yeah.
you.
Word.
Yeah.
You should be thanking me.
Yeah.
Our conversation should be going the opposite way. You're welcome.
It was tough. I actually thought that I thought I had to do it. You know, especially, you know, I was putting you through a lot, and I recognize that, and I can say that as a man now. My first couple of years in high school, I had no real direction. I was just angry at the world. I was angry at you because I thought
I made a mistake.
Yeah, I thought you made a mistake, and you know, putting my father out, and I couldn't believe you took the man out of my life, and then especially when he disappeared after that, and he started doing his running around.
Yeah.
I thought that was because of you. You would run him away, and so I didn't want anybody to get close to me, and so I spent
Because you were afraid of being hurt again. I
and I
understand.
spent much of my high school career either running or fighting, and you know, I apologize
And
for
not
that.
doing homework.
Well,
Okay.
that's a whole nother
Ooh,
conversation.
I like that. We're gonna have to talk about that.
so, yeah.
But I have two questions. One, in hindsight, do you feel that you made a mistake even after, because you know hindsight's 20/20, like you say. So you had to do what you felt was best at the time, and I don't mean for you personally, but the way you handled it, the way that it impacted him,
Handled.
the separation and your life
Absolutely
choices.
not.
Okay.
No.
Okay, good. So then, no, I'm just curious because
because-
you know hindsight's 20/20. How sometimes you don't always necessarily know how it's going to impact.
No, ma'am.
Good. Well, amen to that because you know it doesn't always work out that way. So that's
I knew
great.
what he could be.
Ah,
Okay. I knew what he could be. I saw it when he didn't see it.
Yep.
And in all
love it.
respect to his father, when I met his father, it was a good thing. But as we progressed, I realized the error of my ways. I'll take responsibility for it. And I felt like when we separated, I was running for my life.
got it.
And I took my kids with me.
As you should.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. So here's my question, because, you know, we've talked about this a couple times, and it's something that I think about frequently. I think our society in general does not allow boys or men to be emotional. And it's like, suck it up. Be a man. Men don't cry. You can't have emotions like that. And I think it's really important. And I'm trying to, you know, really incorporate that into my boy's life is it's okay to be upset.
Oh, yeah,
It's
I always
okay
told
to
him that.
cry.
Yeah.
It's okay. So I just was curious about, you know, your opinion on that and how that helps shape a boy into a man.
I am an emotional person. My husband will tell you. And
Me too.
Yes.
Me too.
And,
No comment.
You know, I think that emotion is a part of being a man. Because
Yeah,
if you're not
me too.
emotional, how can you show emotion? How can you share emotion? How can you love?
Yeah.
So Larry knows I'm very, very emotional.
Yeah.
So I think it's a terrible thing and a terrible strain that society puts on the male,
Yes.
where you're not supposed to cry, you're not supposed to do
Yes.
this. A lot of people are not supposed to cry. It's just that it has to be compartmentalized as to when you should cry. But please know that it's okay to be emotional, because if you're emotional, you feel something, right?
Right.
So
I also think, and I've had this conversation with you, Lawrence, when you were struggling with something that you were going through with one of the boys, and I said, you know, why do you always have to be perfect? Why can't you make a mistake
He
in
puts
front of
that
them?
pressure on- yeah, he
and
puts that
make a
pressure on
mistake.
himself.
Even and he said, but I know that this is the right thing to do. And I go, so what? Make a mistake anyway.
Yeah.
And he goes, so you're you telling me to actually like do it on purpose? And I go, yes. Let them see you
Go
fail.
through it. Go through
Let
it.
them see you not be perfect, because you're giving them the tools to go, oh wow, even my dad, who's my superhero, who I look up to, who I worship, even he messes up.
That's
even
right.
he cries, and it's okay.
it's called being human.
Right. And if we don't teach them this when they're young, oh, you ready? Because, woo, I feel it coming. You ready? Are you sure?
Yes. Yeah.
No, but if seriously though, I feel like if you don't role model that for them,
Yes.
they're not going to be able to understand how to work through those emotions and, like you said, compartmentalize, into those certain situations. Because sometimes we have to check ourselves. Sometimes we can let it all go. It just depends. But if we're not not giving them the tools that they need to manage those emotions and to be able to communicate them. That's everything, right? Because when you bottle it up and like
That's
you
right.
said,
You can explode, man.
You bottled it up
Pressure.
and then
Burst pipes.
You can you can
Okay.
either explode or you can spoil everything inside, right? So I agree with you, and I along with the apology, I have to thank you for putting me in touch with my more sensitive side. After running for so long in my life and fighting through a lot of my life, I realized I was fighting to not protect but hide my sensitive side because I didn't want anybody to have access to it. And I also realized that I lived literally half my life instead of a full life because I spent half of my life hiding and the other half posturing, right? So I appreciate you for putting me in touch because that guilt and that voice that lives inside of my head, it has your tone of voice, right? And so I hear you say things like, do you want to cry? Then why aren't you crying, right? And such a simple set of questions that can be so releasing, so freeing, so cathartic. And I appreciate you for it. We're running low on time.
Yeah.
I do have another question I really just want your opinion on because we don't have that expertise that you have. You've now witnessed the pandemic of 2020, but you've also witnessed the epidemic that plagued black people in the 80s, the crack era. Which one was worse for you to
Crack.
witness? Oh,
Crack destroyed neighborhoods. It took down generations. The pandemic is worldwide. Come on now. You know us blacks. We're in our own section. We're in our own box. And I, who never experienced crack, praise God, feel like it was dropped in those areas because they were black areas. Pandemic is hitting everyone.
yes, ma'am.
Conspiracy theory, if this was created for a certain area, it backfired. But crack, to me, crack was worse.
Yeah.
Crack was worse because you put it in an area where there was already a struggle.
Wow.
So that's my quick answer since we're out of time.
Okay, one more question because I'm really digging this. Looking back, of these three things, which one do you wish you would have had more of and why? Time spent with loved ones, money, or education?
Education.
Why?
really.
Because I had my time with loved ones. I will forever miss my parents. I appreciate them more as an adult. Money cannot buy love. Money cannot buy everything. Like, I know I keep talking about my husband, but the man I'm married to now,
I love that you keep
there's
talking
not
about
enough
him.
money. There's
Yes,
not
ma'am.
enough money. And education, because in hindsight, I feel like had I had more education, I could have went a lot further and we could have lived better.
We lived great, Mom.
Well, you know, I mean,
My sister and I are very appreciative of
Yeah.
all the effort you put in.
I know, but you know, that was the answer to the multiple choices,
ma'am.
and it would have been education because I had a dream of going to. I went to fashion industries.
Yeah.
My dream was to go to Fashion Institute, but I wanted to be an accountant.
Okay.
So I wanted to design and have my own company and do
Nice.
interior design, and then I
Nice.
had my wonderful daughter at
Yeah.
19. Who,
Okay.
like Larry says, I wish she was here.
Yeah.
So my only, and you know what? I'm lazy now. I'll be honest. I could go back to school, but I don't want no homework right now. I don't feel
Yeah.
like it. You
Yeah.
know, I
That's
just
all right.
love my life now. You know, I
That's all that
remarried.
matters.
I'm spoiled. He cooks. You know, he just,
He bakes like
Yeah,
a
well-
madman.
All right. Nice.
you know. So I mean, that's the only personal regret that I have that I have a chance to correct that I'm not going to. I don't
Okay.
feel like.
but that's okay.
Yeah,
And that's totally okay.
Yeah,
Because you know
yeah.
what? Sometimes the things that we thought we wanted
Yeah.
or needed at the
Yeah,
time, we
yeah.
find out really aren't that
Yeah,
what we really wanted or needed.
Yeah. So now I
So
enjoy
it's
the
fine.
simple pleasures, and my first one is being a grandma.
Oh, that's the best. To me,
Oh.
I always say it's the littlest things.
Yeah,
It's always the little things
yeah.
that make life the big
My
things.
grandchildren are truly the joy of my life.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's so sweet. I
Yeah.
love that so
Yeah.
much. What?
No.
Oh,
So
I thought you were moving it for
no.
for a particular reason.
This is probably the saddest I've been to end a show. Because
Aw.
it's
Okay.
twofold, you know. It's twofold.
I do
My mom,
the
the
tab.
Pat, right? My mom is not going to be on the next episode, and this was great. And I feel like there's so much more that I would love to ask you and just talk to you about. But it's the end of a trip. I've gotten to spend a week with my mom. She's gotten to spend a week with me for the first time in almost 2 years.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
haven't seen each other. And, I got to put her back on a flight tomorrow. But at the end of every show, we end the show with a quote.
Okay.
And I decided, in honor of you being here,
Okay.
I would like, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I just want to say something before, because we always end it with the quote, but I just wanted to say thank you so much for being here.
you're so
I
welcome.
have been just dying to meet you.
Me too.
And I wish we would have more time together, and unfortunately with COVID and everything else.
I'll be
that's-
back.
That's
I'll
not
be back.
Right, but I hope you do even return to the show, and I hope I get, because I could already see you dancing, and I was like, okay, I can.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We can get in there.
we can do this. I was like, I'm vibing with this.
Oh,
I can get
yeah.
we can get down with this.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
but thank you so much.
You're
really,
welcome.
truly.
You're very
I know
welcome.
your time here was limited, so for you to take time out to do this with us, I'm
Yeah.
so appreciative.
I had to for my baby. I'm so proud of him.
Oh,
Thank you,
And I
Mom.
have to say to the world that's listening, never give up on your children, especially when you see the possibilities. Never. And again, I can thank my husband for helping me make Lawrence into the man he is, because
because he's not easy.
he wasn't. He is now. He wasn't. He was just like he
That
said,
depends
angry and confused.
on who you ask. I'm kidding.
So, yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome, sweetie.
Okay, so quotes.
Yeah, so these, I selected 3 quotes from my mom
Okay.
that actually helped me get through high school and college.
Okay.
For those of you who don't know, I spent a lot of time in high school and college alone because I traveled. I went to high school in California by myself, a new student transfer, and I went to the College of Worcester in Ohio, in a small town in Ohio, by myself, didn't know anybody. And these quotations got me through. The first one says, "We do what we have to do in order to do what we want to do." Ironically, my mother just said that to the twins yesterday. And the other one was, "There's always light at the end of the tunnel,"
True.
which goes so perfectly with the next one that says, "Going through is better than being stuck." You have literally carried me through. Even though I've been alone, you've been with me.
Oh,
And I appreciate you, and I love you very much.
I love you right back. Don't make me cry on this show.
I'm already tearing up. So thank you very much.
You're so welcome.
And with the love you feel and hear coming through your speakers, this has been another episode of Beyond the Journal with Erin and Lawrence and special guest Mom. Thank you for joining us. Say bye, Erin.
You. Oh my gosh, really?
Say bye, Erin.
That was such a nice moment, and I'm like, oh, my heart is so like warm and fuzzy right now.
Yeah,
okay,
but
bye.
say bye.
Okay, bye. Okay, bye.
Okay. It's a wrap.
It is a wrap, but no one's there to wrap us, so we're just gonna keep talking for a little bit.
Do we? I'll steal some more show.
Just keep talking right now.
Okay.
Whatever.
I don't know.
It'll wait. I can clip it, and this can be the behind the scenes.
Oh, so the behind the
The
scenes.
bonus.
So let me ask you then, behind the scenes, how was that? Were you nervous?
I was very comfortable.
I felt like you were very
I
comfortable.
was very comfortable. That's another gift I always thought Larry had. He doesn't understand being a public speaker. He was in pre-K and he said the little thingy, "Good morning, parents, teachers, and fellow students." You won't believe it, but I still have it on. What do you call it, Larry?
VHS.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Oh.
if I can get that to you, so you can
Please do.
put it on something.
Please do.
Oh my God.
Please send it.
Yeah, when
I'll
he used to
figure it
stand
out.
up in church and read and sing in church. So yeah.
Oh my God.
And you know what? His sister,
Uh-huh.
my Jackie,
Yeah.
played such a big role in that. Do you know she used to have him in the room while I was home,
Uh-huh.
teaching him that speech?
Oh yeah?
And I didn't know it. She surprised me.
Aw.
I did not know that's what she was doing.
That's
so,
sweet.
yeah.
She always pushed me.
Oh my God.
it
I
was a
have
different
two
relationship.
awesome young adults in my life. I can't. They're always going to be my kids.
Yeah.
But they're awesome young adults, and the way they've done with raising their children. Because my older grandchildren are 22 and 20.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nice.
crazy.
So and they're just.
Well, I hope that you take a moment, because I know Lawrence struggles with this at times, but I hope that you do not, and you take a moment to understand and appreciate that how much of an impact you have had on their success and who they are as people.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, so you
She is-
struggle with that too.
She gets it too.
No,
difficult.
because it's really important, because I mean, truly, like behind the scenes, the conversations that I've had with Lawrence, I mean, you are his everything.
Oh.
I mean, you are just the world to him, and your love is so important and has been such a constant.
He's evolved. He has come into his own. I just don't want him to think, like you told him, that everything has to be perfect.
Yeah.
So I want to come back and see my boys a little more often to soften some of the blows.
Mm-hmm.
And I play this game. I make them think that Larry's the mean guy and that I'm the grandmother that lets them get away with it.
Oh, yeah. Good one.
But I'm always winking my eye.
Yeah,
Or
of
I'll
course.
go to him and say, I'm going to do so-and-so.
Of course.
And so it's like, yay, Dad. Grandpa said, but they don't know he really said.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
You know, I would just
No,
like
but that's nice.
Oh,
That's
absolutely.
good.
I would never go to either one of my children's homes and try to make any adjustments.
Right.
I don't believe in that. I don't want to be a nagging mother-in-law or an intrusive, invasive grandma.
Yeah.
No, ma'am.
Yeah. No, you're there for the love. You're there to
Yeah,
spoil
I
and
really
love and have
am.
fun. That's what it's all
I
about.
hug them so much, they'd be like, Grandma.
That's like me. I'm a hugger.
Yeah, yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. All right. Did she wrap us?
Yeah.
Are we? We're good. Are we wrapped? We're good. Okay.
We actually wrapped already. We just kept talking.
It's good though.
Okay, so is there like a proper end in here?
Yeah,
Okay,
you can
I'll
hear it.
find that.
It's probably I
It's-
want to say